A WrestleMania Backlash is just days away, and it's now time to see who will emerge victorious this Sunday. Are we going to get any new champions? Are we going to get any big reveals? Well, join us now as WrestleMania predicts all the winners and losers of WrestleMania Backlash. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. And we start off with the SmackDown Women's Championship match as champion Bianca Belair takes on Bayley. Belair has been looking good in the ring and on the microphone since her SmackDown Women's Championship win over Sasha Banks, and now it's time to defend the title against arguably the best veteran grappler in the entire women's division. Bayley and Belair have clashed before, which means the WWE doesn't have to do much to build this one up. However, the EST and the Golden Role Model haven't battled each other over the Blue Brand's belt, so the stakes are even higher. Now, say what you will about the WWE's typically terrible storytelling, but the Bianca vs Bayley program has been a breath of fresh air, despite WWE not even giving the right amount of time for their title bout. But right now they'd be crazy to take the belt off Belair before giving her a chance to get over, and while the WWE Universe has seen more bizarre booking decisions, don't count on Belair losing to Bayley. This series is too good for the WWE to make it a one and done, so look for a rematch at Money in the Bank. If Bianca proves popular, the WWE might take the belt off her and have her chase Bayley for the title, perhaps even adding Sasha Banks to the program as the three top women on SmackDown fight tooth and claw for the title. This could be one of the hottest storylines of the summer and the best way for Belair to prove herself as a legitimate main eventer. Our final prediction, Bianca Belair retains the SmackDown Women's title. Next up is the triple threat for the Raw Women's Championship match as champion Rhea Ripley takes on Asuka and Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair is back, and it's clear the WWE wants to renew the program between the Queen and Ripley that started in NXT in 2020 but never developed into anything. However, there's no need for Charlotte to win just yet, hence Asuka's interaction in the match. Despite two recent reigns as Raw Women's Champion, Asuka's value has sunk significantly, and the Empress of Tomorrow is one step above Dana Brooke right now. No offense, Dana Brooke. The WWE isn't even putting any effort into portraying Asuka as a viable threat, as she's jobbed to Ripley on this week's Raw. Asuka's role in the match is painfully obvious, and the WWE is phoning it in by making this a triple threat match. They would have been better off turning this into a fatal four-way match, and it could have helped give a single star a spot in the main event. The problem here, of course, is that it's impossible to think of any singles wrestler on Raw who could perform. Even if they wanted to pull a wrestler from one of its many tag teams, who would seem like a worthy contender? Dana Brooke? Mandy Rose? Lana? Well, perhaps Naomi? But even the two-time SmackDown Women's Champion has seen her star fallen since her last WWE return. Like the Belair situation, it would be short-sighted to take the belt off Ripley just weeks after she won it, so look for Asuka to do the honors, setting things up for Rhea and Charlotte to go head-to-head at Money in the Bank. Like the SmackDown Women's title picture, a third woman might be added to the mix on Raw as Becky Lynch's return is imminent. Will the WWE have Charlotte go over Ripley, winning the Raw Women's Championship in the future and renewing a program with Lynch, or will Ripley stay in the picture, giving fans more opportunities to see her battling the best? That's a way off, but Backlash's Raw Women's match could provide some hints. Our final prediction, Rhea Ripley retains the Raw Women's Championship. Next up, it's the SmackDown Tag Team Championship as the Dirty Dogs of Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode take on Rey and Dominic Mysterio. Now, we won't comment on WWE finally giving Ziggler and Roode a team name, but it will point out that the talented team's days as champions are now coming to an end. Ziggler and Roode are a fantastic team and could do well defending the belts over the next few months, whether it's against the former champs, the Street Profits, or the Mysterios. However, with strong rumors of Jey and Jimmy Uso being positioned for a run as SmackDown Tag Team Champions, they want to put the belts on a babyface team, so enter the father-son team of Rey and Dominic Mysterio. Not only can the WWE make history by having the Mysterios become the first father and son team to win a tag team championship in WWE, but it'll keep the Street Profits from having to job to the Usos, thus setting up a feud down the road. As for the Dirty Dogs, don't be surprised if the WWE begins a breakup angle, because if you're in any team, your days are always numbered. Our final prediction, Rey and Dominic Mysterio win the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. Next up, a lumberjack match between Damian Priest versus The Miz. Now, this match is a good example of the WWE's endless recycling of tired out programs. But let's start off with the power of positivity by acknowledging it's good to see Damian Priest getting a singles pay-per-view match, a good sign for the Archer of Infamy's push. However, their program expired after WrestleMania 37 when Bad Bunny and Damian won. This is a match better suited for Raw, but the WWE apparently heading for a Miz vs Morrison feud. The Miz is always gold in the ring, and the lumberjack match stipulation should add some fun to this as the cowardly Miz tries to run out only to get thrown back into the ring. What's next for Damian Priest will give fans a good idea whether his push will continue or whether he's hit the wall for now. At our final prediction, Damian Priest wins the match. Next up, the triple threat for the WWE Championship as champion Bobby Lashley takes on Drew McIntyre and Braun Strowman. The WWE is going out of its way to protect both Lashley and Drew McIntyre, hence Braun Strowman's inclusion in this title match. Although he looked dominant on the go-home edition of Raw, there's little doubt that he won't be counting the lights in the match. The question is whether it be Drew or Bobby Lashley pinning him. This one is a close call, especially as both men make excellent champions. While the logical move would be to keep the belt on Lashley and continue pushing him as Raw's monster heel, our gut is telling us that WWE wants a babyface champion on Raw and that Drew will defeat Strowman to win his third championship. At that point, the question becomes who will challenge Drew for the title and what's next for the Almighty. Now that Jinder Mahal is back on Raw, it looks like he's being set up for a program with former 3MB teammate McIntyre. You'll likely recall that the WWE seemed to be building up Mahal vs McIntyre in 2020 after the modern-day Maharaja's return from injury, only for Mahal to get injured again. A move to SmackDown could be a great move for Lashley, but not if the WWE intends to have him job to Roman Reigns. Don't be surprised if Lashley gets a feud on Raw to keep him busy, and while this is mere speculation, Lashley might finally get his dream match against Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. Our final prediction, Drew McIntyre wins the WWE Championship. And finally, the main event is the Universal Championship match between champion Roman Reigns versus Cesaro. The WWE seems to have finally figured out that it's difficult for Roman Reigns to be a dominant heel champion when he's consistently receiving help from Jey Uso. While the WWE has done an effective job building Cesaro up as a viable contender, his purpose in the match isn't to get the Swiss Superman over as a main eventer, but to get the Tribal Chief over even more as a monster heel. Look for Roman to dominate Cesaro and dismantle him without any outside interference, in a way reminiscent of when Brock Lesnar demolished John Cena at SummerSlam. They want Roman Reigns to be their juggernaut, and while it's unknown just how long its Universal Championship reign is gonna last, you can rest assured that Cesaro won't be the wrestler defeating him for the title. Sure, it would be a huge boost for Cesaro, but some fans would likely see it as more of a step down for Reigns losing to a superstar who has been a mid-carder for the last 5 years than a boost for a 40-year-old veteran. They're better off having Cesaro come close to winning but falling short due to some bad stroke of luck and or Reigns' ever-improving heel tactics. Our final prediction, Roman Reigns retains the Universal Championship. And these are our picks for the winners and losers of this week's Backlash pay-per-view. But what are yours? Let us know in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.